Hello my friends, it's me, Chrissy Senpai Art, making stupid impressions as always. Today I'm going to be showing you basically a beginner's guide on how to make multiple designs for Redbubble. So let's say, for example, in this scenario, you want to make a poodle, but you want to make a poodle that everyone can enjoy, so you make 6 different colors of poodles. Well, sorry if you hear clicking, by the way. I'm having to watch as I record because it just makes it easier to give you like a live action type of feel. So first of all, you go and make your design, and basically we're just doing the sketch, like obviously we're doing the sketch first, duh, but what you want to do first is make the sketch. And when you get to the line art portion, this is where things can change up a bit, not for this particular drawing, but for most, like if you, let's say you're drawing birds and you just want to use a simple base, as long as it is a base that you created yourself, there's no problem with reusing it and using assets that are similar between multiple birds, like let's say a red cardinal and a dove. You know, they have, one's a bit bigger than the other, but they have similar body shapes, and obviously the only big difference is the mohawk of the fabulous cardinal. But next, when you get past the line art phase, make sure the line art, if you're changing things up, make sure they're on different layers. But in this case, we're not changing anything up about the line art, we're just coloring the poodle. So what you're going to want to do is make sure you label each layer with whatever it's colored. So, for example, I do not name them initially because I didn't plan to make this a multiple Redbubble design until I'm like, wait a minute, this is a good idea for a beginner type of Redbubble video. What you're going to do is label every single layer, just to make it easier on yourself. You can also do it just in folders, but yeah, whatever you want to do. Again, this is more of a side tutorial. I'm not very fluent in many other programs except iPad ones, but that's also that's also a different story. But so what you're going to do, you get them all shaded, get them all nice and shaded. Unless you don't do shading, you don't have to do shading, but I shade most things that I draw. And when you get done with the shading, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hit, again, if it's like the case you can't see it because for some reason PaintTool Sai decided it would be cool to not record. But what you want to do is go to filter, which is, I'm going to put a little flashy thing and try to zoom in on it somehow. What you're going to do is go to filter and then hit hue and saturation, and you're going to mess with these a lot, depending on what colors you want. And this is where giving them different layers makes it super easy to change up the design. At least color-wise, you know, like Shiba Inus, for example, there's orange shibis, white shibis, black shibis, other colors like brindle, I think. I'm not a shibi owner, I just know, like, goodbye phone. I'm not a shibi owner, I just know the 3 basic shibis. But that is a good example of what I'm talking about. You want the eyes to be their own layer, you want the skin tone or the fur tone to be its own layer, you want the hair layer to be its own layer, the paws and the nose. They don't have to be the same layer, but generally dogs' noses and paws match to some extent. There is an example that I show through here that has spots on the paws and the nose, but generally their paws and their noses usually match. They don't have to. The tongue I didn't change at all, but I did put in its own layer so it wouldn't, again, makes it helpful. So you're not changing the tongue's color because, as I showed in the Pokemon video I did forever ago, by forever ago, I mean like less than a couple months ago. You can do this without making separate layers, but we don't want to steal anyone's art. We don't want to make profit off somebody else's art, because that's a big no-no. This is just a simple tutorial for people who have never made multiple designs from the same design, like multiple colors. This is just making it easier than recoloring it a bunch of time, and it saves so much time, because the shading generally stays pretty consistent through all the colors, except the white one, but that makes sense because there's basically no saturation. It's mostly luminosity, because to make it white, you gotta crank up things a little bit to the right on the hue and saturation. Well, not hue, but the saturation and luminosity. Hue is the color itself, like the raw color. But I hope this tutorial helped somebody a little bit. It's, again, not the most intense tutorial, but it's just a simple little PaintTool Sai tutorial. You can do this in many other programs probably, I'm just not exactly sure how to go about it. But anything with a hue and saturation tool and layers, very easy to do this in. And at the end you get the Poodle Party, 6 beautifully colored little stuffed poodles to pet. Give them some little pets. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this helps out anyone who is wanting to make stuff on Redbubble but not exactly sure how to go about it in an easy way. This is like a little, I guess, a common sense life hack, I would call it, because like once you realize that you obviously can do this, it's super easy to make multiple designs out of the same thing. Because on Redbubble, unless I am blind, you cannot tag multiple designs under the same concept, like stuffed poodle. I can't put 6 different colored poodles there. Again, unless I'm blind, I don't think that's an option. I've never seen it as one, so this makes it easier when you're making dogs, especially your cats, or anything that has multiple colors and patterns to it. Just makes it super easy to post them all and not have to recolor everything over and over again. I hope you guys have a good day and pet them poodles.